Round one. Fight.
Heroes never die.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
I used to be an adventurer like you. Then I took an arrow in the knee.
Power, sex, power. They both come down to one thing.
Hungry gamers.
Hello, and welcome, boys and girls, to episode 130 of The Hungry Gamers, powered by the gods, 8bit.net, Audio Technica, and of course, super friend to the 8bit Collective, the hashtag 8bit Collective. I am your favorite leading intro host, Brendan White. No, Salim. And I'm joined today by my favourite co-host, Miss Ali Hart. Hello, Ali. How are you today?
I'm okay. I'm feeling about as rusty as that intro.
It was pretty bad, wasn't it? I haven't
good.
actually
It was
done
gold.
one of these for a while.
I don't think the audience expects any less of us.
Well, you know what? I could re-record it. I could do it, and you wouldn't know. No one would know.
No one would
You
know. They would not know about this recording that they're currently listening to.
That's right. You would know, though.
I'd know.
And that's too many people. I'd have to take you out. I'd have to come to your place, knock on the door with and you would open the door, I imagine, on the promise of something like what's that titty game that you love, the one that we always talk about where they pull scrolls out of? Yeah, so they have an art book I saw in the bookstore the other day. So if I had that, for example, you would probably open the door.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, okay, and then stab.
Yeah, I know. I'd be kind of skeptical if you were there. Just hey, I've got this art book. I'm like, what do you want, Sam?
It's 12:30 in the morning, and it's Tuesday.
Plus, I know about
your
dealings in Red Dead Redemption, so I'm actually not willing to flirt with that devil because I know what you're capable of. So I'll behave.
Great humanity is what I'm capable of, Ali. That's of course what I'm capable of. It's not always as it is in the Wild West of Red Dead, which, speaking of, have you played it at all this week? I haven't.
I didn't touch it this week. No.
Yeah.
Actually did not.
It's... I'm not saying I'll never play it again. I love it. I just feel like I need a break.
Oh, yeah? Is everything all right between you two, or...?
It's kind of hard. We've got a lot of secrets buried in the sand, buried in the ground. So I don't know if we can really keep it up. Yeah. Maybe it's best if we go our own ways just for a little while, wait till the heat dies down, and then kind of come back and do our grand plan.
Yeah, maybe you're just waiting to maybe get some friends involved. Maybe that will spice some things up if you get a few friends in the mix.
I tell you what, we are T-minus 5 days and counting for them to meet the end of November deadline, as at the time of recording. Is it coming? Is it not coming? What's happening?
We haven't heard anything.
I haven't heard a goddamn thing.
But they can get away with it too because everyone is loving the game so much, and they're they won't care. We'll just hold it off for another month or so.
Yeah, it's frustrating. It is kind of frustrating actually because it's almost as good a reason to play GTA 5 as the single player in GTA 5, the online component. They're both so amazing.
Yeah. I know, and that's where I my anticipated enjoyment of Red Dead Online is because of how much I enjoy GTA Online. I'm has to be. It just has to be exactly the same kind of enjoyment, just a different environment. It has to be.
What's the number one thing that you're looking forward to doing in the Wild West Online?
Well, if we're talking in GTA and assuming that there's going to be the same principles, I'd really like to have my own homestead.
Yeah, really?
And then just, as I do in GTA, force all my team members, all my gang members to, as soon as I log online, we all group up. I go, I need to go to the shops and buy a new pair of pants or something. I need new clothing. Sorry, guys. I need to pimp my ride. I don't know how you pimp your horse, or pimp your carriage.
You plait its little mane. You plait its mane.
Yep.
Give it I don't know, what would you call it? Not like dreadlocks, but
I think it's called
it's like a
dreadlock.
sick braid. My horse had like a braided tail, and it looked almost like a scorpion's tail. Like the length increased somehow. It was very weird. But that's how they used to roll back then. That's what they used to do to their horses back then, Ellie. It was styling.
Yeah, I'm actually getting a lot of style envy because now, since there's people that have actually been more dedicated to the cause, I've been getting like a lot of people showing me their fancy Arthurs, and some of them are looking way better than my Arthur, and I'm getting a little bit of Arthur envy.
Are you still like 6% story completion?
Yeah, like I don't think I've gone past chapter 1, man. Like I am still... Everything's still a mystery to me. So I'm not going to be one of those assholes that are going to be like, oh, no spoilers, guys. No spoilers. Because, like, I've done this to myself. Like, I expect no pity.
Ali, I really want to ask you about this game. So you've listed on the agenda this week a game called Don't Make Love. Mm-hmm. This is the game you've been playing. And I watched a video, and I have a lot of questions.
I bet you do.
Just what is this game?
So
what is this game?
I've made mention that based on my really screwed up library on Steam, Steam just recommends me a bunch of random weird crap, which is fine. I'm on board. I'm all for it. This one came up and I saw what it was called, and then I saw what the little screenshots from the game were, and I'm like, and it was $3. And I was like, I'm on board. So I bought it. And essentially, it's about a romantic relationship between two grasshoppers, or like praying mantis, I think.
Praying mantis.
Yeah, praying mantis. And it's essentially just more dialogue and like physical reactions. And you're having a conversation, and you could play as either the male or the female, and you're having this really, really, really deep conversation about the ideals of love, having sex, the importance of having sex in a relationship, and then like also the involvement of friends and relatives and people around you and their opinions of your relationship, and then moving it to a next progressive state. And I'm sure it was meant to be this really cool, like, maybe it wasn't. Maybe the person who made this just went, I'm just going to pretend I'm doing something fucking deep, but I'm not. But it got to a stage where this, like, you're having this, like, really emotional, like, conversation. So I decided to be the man first because I know my insects and I know what happens to a male in that kind of relationship.
Yeah.
And I picked the man, and like, she's being like, oh, I don't know if I'm willing to go forward because of the implications and, what happens and everything like that. And after a while, I was trying to play the game seriously, like write the right answers, do the right things. And then when
So you have to, you are typing in your responses,
you're
right?
typing, yeah.
And it recognizes the words somehow.
So I wanted to test it because it was recognizing a lot of things that I was saying. And then I'm like,
yeah.
Let's see how good this game is. So after a while, I just started writing things like she'd be like pouring her heart out to me, and then I'd just be like, oh, I'm hungry. And then she'd actually say, she goes, oh, that's got nothing to do with what I'm talking about. Like, I'm like, oh,
yeah,
shit.
I see.
But then,
sort of a catch-all.
Yeah, so it might pick up certain words, but then I just started saying apples and talking about the weather and stuff, and then she would keep going on with what she was saying. But the best thing is that, like, it actually gives you your dialogue at the end. So then you see my dialogue go from a very serious, like, emotional dialogue to just being like, I'm hungry. Do you like apples? Like, are you calling me slow?
Is it just the one scene in the video I watched? It was kind of like the two of you were sort of holding hands in the green grass.
It does give you the option to caress one's face, hold hug, and then kiss. And then you also have like little options to pull certain faces as well. And I gotta be honest, I didn't know what I was doing at the start, and I was pressing the faces, and then like at one stage they're like, why are you being so quiet? And I'm like, oh, I realize now that they're saying stuff to me and I'm just going, like just smiling back. So
this game has an 8 out of 10 score.
I didn't notice that
on Steam.
I didn't notice that. Like,
I think I saw that a second ago. Let me just bring that back up. So hold on, can you actually What happens if you do the deed? Is that an option at all?
So
or is it...
that's why I was actually going for, I'm assuming, the right ending. I don't know.
It's the right instinct, Ali. Always go for
yeah,
it.
so the game's called Don't Make Love,
Yeah.
but I was trying to go for the Make Love because I wanted to see the scene where you get your head sliced off. But it was more of just a very romantic moment where it's like, I'm glad we made this decision together. And then you get like an achievement and then it says like, you know, you decided to make love. The end.
I thought there'd be like a silhouette or something, like some kind of romantic, like against the moon, like the backdrop of the moon
sunset.
is on the horizon.
It's a sunset in the grassy field, and oh, no, I wish that would have been great. That's kind of what I was wanting. Maybe just like some bouncing in the grass or something like that, and then just watching your head just go flying off. And that was the other problem. I was taking it way too realistically. Like, she'd be like, oh, you know, because you know what happens. I go, yeah, you bite my head off. And then, you know, and then there was one stage where she was like having a go at me because I wasn't taking it seriously. And I said, oh, well, at least you don't have to bite my head off later because you're doing it now. Like, it was great being the guy in a relationship. It was lots of fun.
Yeah, it's not always what it's cracked up to be.
No.
But sex or the threat of death is a bit of a scenario that a lot of guys have been placed in our lives in the past. Yeah, this is a metaphor for life, this game, I think.
Like I said, I'm pretty certain this game was trying to go somewhere. It actually like started with a really deep emotional like quotation at the start of the game before you even start like playing it by Frederick Schelling, I think is the person that they said it was. It was just this deep.
Okay.
It's this deep like little paragraph about emotions and love and death and the desire to being like together and everything like that, not being alone. And like I said, this game, I think it was trying to be way more serious than the way I was taking it.
How long does it take to get from like the start to coitus or not coitus?
Didn't take me long. But yeah, it's a little game. Think of your
in and out in record time.
in and out and off, getting off with my head. Yeah, I think it's like meant to be like a lot of like those like romantic JPRPG story kind of things. Except for I just was surprised that you had the option to write whatever you wanted to write, and I think that is the element that you can enjoy with it, especially when you read your dialogue back and you can see someone being so romantic and sweet, and you're just being a dick. And she doesn't acknowledge it.
You should. Do you have a copy of your one? Can you like save it or something?
I get.
Dialogue.
I probably should have seen if you could save the dialogue, but yeah, I'll see if it's maybe saved on the Steam file somewhere.
Yeah, see if you can. We'll post it somewhere. Yeah. See, we'll teach everyone how to romance.
How to make romance.
I want apples.
She also said something about something being ironic, and I said, like, rain on your wedding day. She didn't acknowledge it. I didn't get any points for that. Not a fan of Alanis Morissette, apparently.
No, I couldn't place that, but
okay.
That's fine.
Reached.
That's fine. That's on me, not you. That's on me, not you.
Yeah.
Just to ask the question, how's Destiny?
Destiny's good. Gambit is 3 times experience this weekend. By the time people hear this, it will be too late, but please anticipate that I will be playing a lot of Gambit this weekend. So there'll be swearing, and I'll be probably punching my leg again like I usually do.
See you on the battlefield.
See you on the battlefield. Remember, bank those motes, guys.
So this week, I've been playing Warcraft 3.
Okay.
Which is kind of off the back of the BlizzCon announcement of Warcraft 3 Reforged. Which is the HD remaster or remake of the game. Mm-hmm. I loved this game so much when I was a kid. It's kind of it's like Tekken. Like, it's as close to my heart as Tekken.
Oh, wow.
It's something I've played quite a lot in my life, and I just have so many fond memories of murking and being murked by dogs. It's such a great game. It stands up so well. I'm really surprised. So you can't actually buy it off of... like, it's not available on the Battle.net launcher. You have to go into the website, kind of go through their back catalogue of games and find it there. And you can get Reign of Chaos and the Frozen Throne expansion together. I got them. I started playing like the single player campaigns on hard mode, which is still like it's challenging. It's really not easy. I'm on this one shitty human mission where you've got to sort of defend your base for 30 minutes, and they're just wave after wave of undead just attacking your base. And then it's like it's hard enough to do that on hard mode because you just get overwhelmed at around the 10-minute mark. But then they've got this like little side mission where there's a caravan that is outside, like traveling on the map outside of your base, and you have to go and take it out. And it takes like an army to take it out. So you have to build an army, leave the base, try and find it and get it, and then your base is still getting smashed. Because it takes 30 minutes, like I've had 5 attempts at this already.
Oh.
And I've gotten to 10 minutes at least 3 of those 5 times. So I've spent like an hour and a half trying to do this one bloody mission, and I can't get my head around it. It's killing me. But that's my fault, I guess, for running at a brick wall so many times.
I guess.
I've also played online. So the amazing thing to me is that there's still like an online presence. There's an online community. It's pretty easy to find games. I've been playing a lot of one-on-ones. My win rate is like 50%, which I'm kind of proud of. Like, it's been a while, you know, it's been a while. But yeah, I've just been playing like random 1v1s, night elf, orc, human, undead, just any of those races. It's not bad. I'm kind of proud of how not so terrible I am as well.
Has it been graphically remastered, or is it still OG graphics?
It's still OG. So the remaster is the Warcraft 3 Reforged. It doesn't have a release date yet, but it's coming out in 2019 sometime. If you see anything about Warcraft 3 now on socials, it's all about Reforged, and you'll see. Yeah. If you haven't seen it, you should totally check it out, because the character models are kind of the next step in the evolution of Blizzard character models. They look way more realistic than they ever have. And I was actually, doing a bit of reading up on it. Apparently, this is sort of a direction that Blizzard have been taking for years now, where they're slowly sort of iteratively redesigning existing character models so that they look kind of less cartoony, goofy, and do look like not true realism, but
proportional.
Yeah, exactly, proportionate. So the other thing I did though with this is I thought it'd be funny to record my games. So I've got a bunch of recordings of my wins and my losses.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I think I'll post them. I think I'll put them up somewhere. I might do a bit of a supercut.
I would actually like to watch to see the mind of Sam playing like one of these kind of strategy kind of games, like something where you're strategic.
It's erratic.
It's erratic, is it now?
It's very erratic.
There's no planning?
Very erratic. There's a lot of like... what I realized, because I rewatched a couple of them because I was... I definitely lost a bunch. Like, I lost half the games I played. Like, 10 out of the 20 games I would have lost. Mm-hmm. And I rewatched a lot of those to kind of see maybe where I could do better, where I could have maybe not made a mistake or whatever, or try and find mistakes. And what I realized is that I'm very silent. And then out of nowhere, it's just like, fuck. It's like...
Oh, God.
And then if I'm like in combat and I'm winning, and I like kill the enemy hero, there's always a woo. That's it. That's kind of all I say in front of the microphone this whole time, like through every video. Anyway,
do you talk to your characters? Because I know I do. Like any game where it's like, where you've got a bunch of people that you're meant to be like running or having like I have my little town builders and my Age of Empires and my Banished and all that sort of stuff, and I'm sitting there swearing at the characters and I'm like, I'm your god, like you listen to me kind of thing, as I say to people in real life.
I don't quite I think probably like a little bit like
yeah, there, like,
but only when things aren't quite working. Yeah, only when things aren't working. Like if I go to make an action and I misclick or something, I'll just proclaim like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
It's totally your fault.
Like just yelling. Did you
ever play StarCraft?
Yeah, I played a ton of StarCraft.
Okay, because like I don't think I ever went to Warcraft 3. I think I played OG Warcraft and Warcraft 2.
Yeah, wow, really?
Yeah.
See, I never played those. I never played those
And
two.
I think I actually, because you made mention that Blizzard's obviously trying to evolve the characters and give them semi-realism kind of like makeovers. And that kind of upsets me because I kind of liked the cartoony nature of...
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, me too. Like, I was actually a bit surprised to hear it. I did notice it in the Battle for Azeroth expansion that a lot of the character models... there just seemed to be like a wider variety of character models, in character physiques, and you know, it just struck me that they were actually making an effort to sort of really flesh out the physical look of characters that would really clearly differentiate and distinguish themselves amongst the rest of the NPCs in the world. But I'm a big fan of the old design as well. I thought it was very iconic.
Yeah, and so that's what it's what I definitely remember apart from work. But if they go down the route, I guess maybe more like Hearthstone character design, like really elaborate, whimsical kind of.
Yeah, I know what you're saying there.
Yeah.
That's Hearthstone's tone, though. Like, Hearthstone's tone is very much kind of like, it takes the entire world of I think you know what I mean.
Yeah.
The entire universe of Warcraft, and then sort of pokes fun at it. And that's and it gets away with it. And they do good work with the art designs there, I think, for the characters. Like, if you think of the Karazhan expansion.
Yeah.
And if you just remember some of the art from that, it's kind of like The Great Gatsby.
Yeah.
Like, Medivh is like Gatsby.
Yeah, and then they did the gangsters one, and they did the mobsters and all those designs and everything. It was great.
Yeah.
It was fantastic, and I like that kind of aspect of Blizzard content. Like, and it was fine because I felt like your Warcraft was the fun side, and your Starcraft, even though it had fun elements, it was more for the serious side, I guess. A bit darker.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, StarCraft is way darker.
Yeah, well, there was fun in it. I liked some of the stuff in it. So.
I think it's just more bloody. Like, StarCraft's a bit more bloody than Warcraft. Warcraft, there's like such a fun fantasy element to the universe, whereas StarCraft, it's just like sci-fi, dead space.
Yeah.
And yeah, in StarCraft, the first StarCraft at least, like a lot of the main characters that you get to know and love die in that game.
Yeah.
In quite horrible fashion as well. So
Although I really haven't played any of the new expansion, but I'm curious as well if they're going to bring back Warcraft. I'm curious. I know they made mention a while back now about talking about the Lost Vikings franchise. I wonder if they're going to bring that back and what they would do design wise.
Yeah, maybe. I wonder. I do wonder. We'll have to wait and see, I guess.
Yeah.
For me, outside of like, a couple of WoW Battlegrounds, that's really it for me this week. And a little bit of Pokemon Go as well, I might add. Actually, just a personal shout out and damning Fitbit. This week, I woke up this morning and my 1 month and a half old Fitbit is busted as fuck.
1 month?
Yeah, I've had it for a month. Now, I'd like to think it's because I'm just too damn fit.
You
But
outfitted your bit.
I know, yeah, when I wake up and look in the mirror, that the reality sets in pretty quickly that is not the case. But the LCD monitor's gone. Now, I swim with this thing on.
Are you supposed to?
It has like, well, hold on. It has like ways to track your exercise, like track specific kind of, whatever routine you're doing. So if you're going for a run, it tracks your run, and there's a setting for that. Mm-hmm. And there's a setting for like gym workouts, and there's a setting for swimming, right?
Okay.
So here I am thinking totally fine to wear it in the pool. Have been wearing it in the pool. Woke up this morning. I've noticed the last couple of days the battery's been dying really quickly. I'm like, oh, this is a bit shit. Mm-hmm. But then, the whole LCD's just basically gone this morning.
Okay.
And I Googled, because I suspected that maybe the water could have had a part to play. Apparently, there's a difference between water resistant and waterproof. And that Fitbit is apparently hanging its hat up on that little point there in the instructions.
Wait.
Now, I haven't...
So is it meant, can you wear it in the pool? What are they saying?
I think you can. I think that the waterproof bit is maybe more about like the depth. So it's good for 50 meters. But and I haven't engaged them about a warranty yet, and I will be. But if they try and fuck me on this, I will raise war. I will raise hell if they try.
Honestly, don't.
I don't
doubt
know who
this.
I'll speak to on the phone or what kind of angry email I'll write, but it will be vicious.
Just remember, when you're on the phone, don't attack the person taking the call.
No, I do. I attack
Sam,
everyone.
don't.
It's how you get things done. I'll tell you, Ali, you've got to go. The first thing you do is you don't even bother with the person who answers the phone.
No, and I agree.
Because they're not a decision maker. So you just say, look, I appreciate you, person, but get your manager. Get your manager right now.
Trust me. That's it. Sometimes that's the key word. It's the key word that you can say to someone and they're like, sweet, dodged a bullet. This person has requested a manager. Sir, take the bullet.
Yeah. And then even that guy, you've got to go higher sometimes.
Where's the CEO?
Get Johnny Fat Cat on the phone right now.
Johnny Fat Cat.
All right. Any other gaming experiences to talk about this week, Ali, or are we jumping into the news?
All I'm going to say is I'm disappointed in the masses with the Let's Go series. You have all made it perfectly clear that you're all sheep and you're getting Eevee. However,
Okay.
However, I've also been notified that there is actually a very specific gaming decision that actually goes with the better result of going with Eevee, because it gives you access to better Pokemon, as well as something
Better
about
moves.
collecting certain Pokemon, something like that. So it's better to get Eevee than Pikachu or something along those lines. But until they make a Let's Go Psyduck, Let's Go Snorlax, I guess my hat's really not in the ring.
We've got to get to the news. But in the Detective Pikachu trailer, did you see the snap of the Psyduck?
Yes, I very much did.
He's terrifying in that. He does not look cute.
Are you kidding?
Terrifying.
He looks adorable as hell, and it makes me so much more sadder now to see something even close to a Psyduck in reality, and me knowing that I will never get that in life.
Sigh. All right. All right, let's get to the news.
This week's news headlines.
And a couple of quick ones just at the start here. It's been just at the top, let's say, it's been a pretty slow week, unless you want to talk about Black Friday and the Black Friday savings and deals and Tech Monday, whatever it's called.
I can tell you, I've actually been quite disappointed. A few Senran and Kagura games went on sale, guys, if you just want to know, although it's probably too late by the time you get this message.
Still look.
Still check. I hope you all have it on your wish lists.
They're all worth full price anyway. All of them.
I'm a tight ass, but
Okay.
I can tell you now that
I'm just a perv.
Yeah, I'm both. I'm a perv for a tight ass. Sorry. But certain games that I was looking forward to, specifically on the PlayStation Store, didn't really get a discount, and I'm kind of sad by that. I feel like the consoles get to really pick and choose what their discounts actually apply to, as opposed to Steam that's like, sure, everything's on sale, go for it. So, actually really disappointed, and I don't really have the money to upgrade my PC, so I did not take advantage. But hey, if you guys out there got a good deal, how about you show them off?
Yeah, tell us about them. I personally didn't pick anything up because didn't really look, to be honest. I've been just happy with my Warcraft 3. But
There's a whole universe out there.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, and all I'm seeing is Blizzard. But tell us about your deals. If you got a steal, or if you stole something, write in. Tell us.
Post it on the public
We'd be
forum.
very interested to hear. Yeah, just disguise your name. I won't use your real name. But in more interesting news, and just a couple of quick ones, the Star Wars Battlefront 2 trailer, the Battle for Geonosis trailer dropped last week. And it is coming on November 28th, which is a few days away from now. So, along with the Geonosis map, there's also going to be the episode 2 Obi-Wan Kenobi. No, episode 3 Obi-Wan Kenobi, and General Grievous that will now be available to be played. So I know you and I probably don't care too much for this game, but we obviously all have thoughts on Grievous. I never understood. He has a heart but no lungs. Why is he so husky?
I don't understand how a character like him has actually become, I guess, a Star Wars meme, I guess you could say. There's other great characters out there, but I love that they just threw that one in there because they knew that would make people happy. Anything to make a buck, right?
It might actually be one of the worst like fights in the first three prequels. Sorry, not the first three. In the three prequels, like the Obi-Wan Grievous fight sucks because it just doesn't make sense. If you've got 4 lightsabers, he's got 1. All you need to do is like get 1 to like strike so he blocks and then just cut his legs or something. I don't know. I'm no Jedi.
You're not
I feel
a
like I would
Jedi.
have handled that a bit better though. No. So that comes out on November 28th. If you are a fan of the Star Wars Battlefront 2, then certainly keep your eyes peeled for that. A really fun one. Did you know that Christopher Robin, you know the Winnie the Pooh film?
Yeah.
Christopher Robin was banned in China.
Why?
So the reason it was, well, there's no reason specifically that anyone's in the media have published at least, but what people suspect is that the president, Xi Jinping of China, he gets, or he has been in the past, likened to Winnie the Pooh, and there are like photos of him walking and then like a screenshot of Winnie the Pooh walking. Like there's this great side-by-side. One's of Xi Jinping walking with Barack Obama, and then they do a side-by-side of Winnie the Pooh walking with like Tigger. And it kind of looks, the motion is very much the same. It's like, he doesn't look like Winnie the Pooh, obviously, but it's just kind of like, it's too close not to laugh at.
Oh my God.
So there's been some kind of like unofficial decree not to let Christopher Robin into the country. The reason I'm bringing this up, Ali, is because Kingdom Hearts 3 features Winnie the Pooh.
Yes.
And on a Chinese game site, A9VG, they posted screenshots of the scenes that Winnie the Pooh was in, except Winnie the Pooh is completely whited out. Like, all you see are his fat little legs. That's all you can see.
What? So it's like,
Yeah.
I'm looking at the pictures. It's like a bright light. Like, it's like Winnie the Pooh is ascending. Like,
Well, they didn't have to show the pictures at all, but they've chosen to, but they've blanked out Winnie the Pooh.
are they making a specific game with him not in it? Like,
Well, they're not redoing, but they're making a Chinese version of the game, and it's unclear if they're even going to include these scenes, but because these are the screenshots that have recently dropped from Kingdom Hearts 3, the game publications featuring them, but they're also like blanking out Winnie the Pooh. And
like-
people suspect it's for this reason though.
it kind of looks like, because it's being blanked out so obviously, that like Winnie the Pooh either has like a massive naked tits or maybe like a wang's hanging out somewhere. Like, that's how much they've censored him in this. Like, that's the level of censoring we're going at
Like
here.
only if you've studied his feet, really, and you're like, and you're that kind of person that can spot a cartoon character by their feet. You're like, yep, that's Winnie.
I am offended.
If you've got like a barefoot fetish, you recognize those paws anywhere. But yeah, it's sort of suspected that this is the reason that this publication is blanked it out, or so says Kotaku at least.
Oh wow.
I thought it was pretty funny.
That's just some weird, wacky news of the world, isn't it?
It's a crazy place, old China.
Oh,
It's a
man.
crazy old
He's
place.
such a, what's it, friendly old bear? And they don't like him.
Yeah, he's like an old man. He has like an old man
He
voice.
does.
Oh, hello.
I didn't
Yeah,
realize how creepy
I
it
can't
was
do it.
until they released like footage of that Christopher Robin film, and then I watched it and I went, "Oh no, oh no, I'm not about that."
So in other news, apparently the guys at Blizzard are big Pokemon Go fans, according to a report which was posted on Kotaku, I believe. Some Kotaku journalists went out to the Blizzard office, hung out with them, shot the shit, and what they learned was that there's this orc statue in the center of the Blizzard campus,
Yep.
or complex, and it's actually a Pokemon Go stop. And a lot of the employees and a lot of the devs within Blizzard actually like love playing Pokemon Go and just like love competing with each other over this particular stop. Now, Corey Stockton, who's one of the lead devs over at Blizzard, is also a huge Pokemon fan, and what they've actually, or at least what the good people at Kotaku are hypothesizing, is that they're actually working on a Warcraft GO game, a Warcraft GO style game. which would be kind of cool, I think, being a big Warcraft nerd. But it doesn't really have any details on what the game would actually look like. So it's kind of open to... I mean, it's not confirmed. This is only a rumor.
No, and,
but...
all speculation and everything. Like, considering... for them to sell it to me, I don't know if I'd be sold on Warcraft GO. If it was Blizzard GO, where I could go and find, like, Zerglings everywhere or pick up a Protoss, that would be great. Even, like, picking up a, I don't know, like a Junkrat. Because it's Overwatch.
What? Have your own.
Yeah, exactly. Just keep him in my pocket. Yeah, that's how it could sell to me. Warcraft specifically, though.
I think the one way that a game like this would really work, anyone who's played WoW in the last 2 expansions will know what I'm talking about. Last 3 expansions, actually. They have these sort of like instanced bases. They're called like your order halls. So they're typically by your class. Every class has the same. Now they're by faction. If you're a Horde, you've got the Horde one. If you're the Alliance, you've got the Alliance one. Mm-hmm. And you're just sending men out on missions. It's kind of like this side part of the game where you get these NPCs to kind of become part of your own personal army, and then you send them out on missions. They come back after like a day or 2, and they give you like small items and rewards. But it's just like this real tedious thing to keep up. They've made it simpler in Battle for Azeroth, but like they got a lot of criticism for it in the last expansion, which was, the name's escaping me now. Oh my god, what was the last expansion?
Can't help you there.
No, you can't. Neither can I. Not Draenor.
Yeah, not that.
Legion. God, how that took me forever. In Legion. So anyway, what I think would be good is if they scrapped that shit entirely and then like sort of broke the fourth wall down and recruited you, and then gave you this sort of Warcraft GO style app, which you could then use to like go out to like, different stops and different sort of locations, and you would earn rewards that way rather than having to just kind of do this NPC thing. I think that'd be cool. So if your own activity outside carried across to your World of Warcraft hero, that might work for me.
Okay, I can see kind of how they would link that up, because obviously Pokemon Go has now linked with Let's Go, Pikachu, Eevee. Mm-hmm. So I guess, you Blizzard could do the same thing with World of Warcraft and Warcraft Go.
Should do the same thing. But I like your point. I want Zerglings. Zerglings are cool.
That would be so great. But that would, I guess, terrify children, seeing absolute giant Zerglings standing in front of them.
There's did you know there's this thing you can do on Google to turn the front page into like a Zerg rush?
Oh, I think I remember that way back when. I think you'd have to just type in like Zerg Rush or something like that. And
if you just, that's right. I'm doing it right now. If you just Google Zerg Rush, all of these like little O's just rush in and delete all of the boxes on your screen. It's actually kind of cool.
It's great.
Anyway, if you're at home, stop what you're doing right now. Press pause on this podcast. Go and do that.
Worth your while.
And welcome back. I should have laughed. That's kind of lame. Moving on to the next and final bit of news. This one's a bit more media. Ali, let's play a game. The game's called Who Pissed Off the Gamers This Week? And the answer is...
I mean, Fallout. I'm going to say Fallout. Because, like, I'm not going to put it under the whole banner of, like, the company. But I'm just going to say the makers of Fallout have definitely felt the soreness in their backsides from the gaming industry this week.
They've certainly felt the wrath of the pissed off gamer. The unrightfully so pissed off gamer. Look, it's been a tumultuous launch to say the least. So, dropped on November 14th. We are a mere 11 days at the time of recording after launch. And this game is just getting panned by almost everyone that's not a Twitch streamer. We've got so many different news articles, and there's so much sort of happening around this game right now. So VGR.com and a couple of other publications have talked about how sales in the UK are down 80 80 to 82%, depending on which article you read, on the Fallout 4 sales, which isn't like a like-for-like thing because it's an MMO versus a single-player RPG, like a huge one as well. But still, like, to only be at 20% of the UK sales, that's definitely notable. There were Black Friday deals selling this game for $20 less than its retail.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. That's a real indicator right there.
A lot of people talking about how the game is hollow, how there's obviously not a great deal of things to do in the game. There was the huge patch, which we talked about last week, and you mentioned, I think, at the top of the show. Or was it before we started recording? I don't know.
It was before we were recording. It was just it was a massive, gigantic patch. But there was also like messages about like letting you know that there will be patches in the future. However, this one is quite big.
This one's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just to let you know. So, and look, of course, as well, in addition to this, a lot of people are sacking the creation engine, saying that it's to blame for a lot of the technical issues that players are experiencing at the moment, and that it might be a good time to upgrade. Now, this has been bleeding on into conversations about Elder Scrolls 6, and what's the other property? I forget. It's like Sky something. It's their new property that they're developing.
Oh, right.
I'm just going to get that. No, it's not Sky something.
God, I really hope you typed in Sky something.
I typed in Zerg Rush again because I just wanted to see it one more time.
That's fair.
I'll get that in a sec. But it's I was reading like conversations about people just don't want to see these games developed in these engines anymore because they think that it's just going to be problematic. These engines have been used, or this creation engine's been used for ages now, and they think it's time to just kind of move on, pick up and go forward. So Bethesda have had a whirlwind 2 weeks dealing with what is possibly the worst launching title of theirs ever.
God, yeah. God, I actually remember way back when, like, especially E3 time, when we were finding out that Red Dead was coming, and then soon after that, Fallout 76. And I even think we were talking about, like, oh, what's going to happen? Like, people will play Red Dead for a few weeks, but then Fallout will, take everyone. And, and it's just like, wow, that didn't happen at all. Like, I wonder if Rockstar were ever concerned.
Yeah, that's a really good question. Starfield, was the name of the game.
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking of. It's their new property. But you're right. That's a good question. And this is something that some journalists have probably dined out on over the last week as well. Is like, can it be saved? Is it worth saving? It's interesting. So, like, this week, I think it's this week, the new No Man's Sky patch Vision comes out as well, right?
Oh, yeah.
And this is actually this is a great use case for this exact situation, because No Man's Sky had undeniably the worst launch of any game in living memory. It's somehow still, after a couple of years and a lot of, I guess, perseverance, the game's actually kind of done a bit of a 180. Mm-hmm. Players are actually enjoying it. Players are likening it to the experience that they expected upon launch. Mm-hmm. And people genuinely play it now for fun.
Yeah.
not
to rag on it.
Not as a gimmick.
Yeah.
Yeah, not to rag on it. Even games like Destiny, like vanilla Destiny, were sort of criticized quite heavily on launch because they didn't quite stand up to expectations. So I think it's a little too early maybe to write off Fallout 76, but it also seems to me that a lot of the problems aren't necessarily with like quality of life stuff. It's more like just inherently core things, like what the fuck do you do? What's the game about?
Yeah.
You're stuck in this wasteland, sure, but what's the goal? What's the purpose?
Yeah, well, like you can, try your best. Essentially, they'd have to probably revisit exactly the content. Like, from what we've heard, is like, obviously playing it alone. Everyone says you can't play it alone because it is a very depressing game to play alone, which I know a lot of people have pointed out that this is, the time is, during a Fallout, so it is actually naturally a very lonely time, as expected, but it's like, yeah, that's great, but like, you still have to think about quality of game. So.
But I think as well, like Fallout's, I mean, all of Fallout's set post Fallout, and like a lot of them do. I mean, all of them. I say all of them. I've played 3, 4 in New Vegas, and at least in my experience in those 3 games, it does a great job of making it not feel lonely. In fact, those are single player games. Like, surely you can take elements of those, whatever it is that makes that shit work, and like just add it. Add it to there. Is it this whole thing of like there's no one around and you're the first sort of people to break the area? Is that the problem?
Well, I think it's also obviously like it's really easy to speculate, especially when you haven't played the game. 2 thumbs, this guy over here. But from what I've seen content wise, like it's even like the missions, like the things that you are meant to do while playing alone anyway, you're not really interacting with NPCs. You're interacting with tapes and computer interfaces, so there is no like reactive, genuine kind of like interactions. It's just picking up tapes and interacting with computer screens, which by golly, that would get me bored quickly. So even maybe if they'd had like those kind of interactive NPCs, like actual physical characters that could either follow you around or just be front facing and just doing stuff in the background. I don't know. I honestly don't know, but
no, but I like a lot of like everyone's writing this off, and I have no real loyalty to Fallout, the Fallout series or anything like that. But I think if like games like No Man's Sky have showed us anything, games like Final Fantasy 14. So Final Fantasy 14 on launch was horrible, like horrendous, and they did do a full reworking of the game. Like they basically at a certain point, I think in 2012, shut the game off.
Wow.
And just said it's going to come back. A year later, August 2013, I think it was, they came back with Final Fantasy 14, A Realm Reborn, and it is a complete reworking of Final Fantasy 14. Mechanics were all changed, and they fixed it, and it's a beautiful game now, and obviously it's just had life since. So maybe if they do something like that, if they need to, if they want to.
Well, yeah.
It has been done, and games bounce back. So if you're one of those dum-dums that bought a helmet and and posted your Instagram photos like, can't wait to play, only to be disappointed by this game, just hold tight. Just hold tight.
Well, I remember there was a stage where I was really excited about this game because the concept that I was actually being sold was that you could just be walking around this barren wasteland. But in the part I think I was liking was that you could like kind of create your own like fort, your own place, your own kind of environment. And you and your friends could like, run around, and then you yourself could just like forage and everything. So yeah, I guess I was just maybe it was my own fault. I was building up this game to be something that it turned out to not be. I don't know who really is to blame in those kind of situations, but yeah, it definitely wasn't the game that I thought it was going to be.
I think a lot of people probably feel a little bit let down as well, but again, it's the beautiful thing about MMOs, they're constantly evolving, so I guess just sit tight, and hopefully it doesn't stand out as a disappointment. I mean, maybe as a bit.
Did Elder Scrolls, did that ever get better? Did they ever?
That's good. That's an interesting question. Different studios, I think. Even though it's a Bethesda property, I'm pretty sure Bethesda didn't develop Elder Scrolls Online. I'll fact check that one, but I think it also had a pretty rocky launch. There was a pay gate issue at the time because you couldn't get all races unless you'd bought the collector's edition. There was no way to unlock every single race, and that sort of frustrated a lot of people. And also, it's a very different game. Again, similar to this, it's not quite an Elder Scrolls game. It's just a game set in the Elder Scrolls world.
Gotcha.
But they did have expansions. Like they had the Morrowind expansion only, I think early this year, late last year maybe.
Yes.
So it still has a life. But that said, I'm playing Warcraft 3 and that's still got a life, but that's probably not making any money.
That's true.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen to this game. I'll be interested to see what the next 6 months look like, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I guess, like you said, with any principle of taking a game and then, like, you know, opening it up to an online multiplayer universe aspect, I guess sometimes you can visualize, like, a concept that would make sense and would seem sellable, but then actually executing it and actually it following through the way you anticipated is just another story. And I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's a bit heartbreaking.
Makes you wonder if
this is so...
Well, I'm just curious if this is what they wanted, pretty much. Like, is this what they thought it was going to be?
Who knows? This is Bethesda's first one. So ZeniMax Studio did Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah.
And Fallout 76 is Bethesda's first foray into the world of MMOs. And that is it for the news this week. Again, it's been a pretty light news week, unless you love reading Black Friday BS like no one in the world does. You just like the sales. You love money, like the capitalists that we all are. That's totally fine. Be sure to like, rate, subscribe, or whatever other button there might be on wherever the hell you find us. Be sure to check out The Hungry Gamers on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Premium, Spotify, anywhere else you can hear podcasts. Good podcasts, not the bad ones. You'll find us. And be sure to leave us a review. Also be sure to check out @WeAre8bit. Anywhere else you can search for an @ or a hashtag 8bit collective to find the wonderful collection of podcasts within the 8bit family. Ali, can you name them all?
No, I cannot, Sam, because we have so many and the collection is so extensive, I wouldn't be able to name them all on top by heart. But there is a lot of great content out there.
I'm sorry for throwing you under the bus there. I have them in front of me, though, here listed. And I can tell you that 8-Bit Mania, Dash Culture, Dash and Holmesy, The Forever Movie Boys, The House of Mario, Put in Work, I Speak Giant, It Is What It Is, and You Game Bro ? Are all in the hashtag 8bit collective. So be sure to go and check them all out. They are all amazing. Sometimes we feature over there, sometimes they feature over here. We mingle. That's what 8bit's all about, mingling. You can also go and check out Audio Technica for all of the greatest audio equipment there is. You know, Audio Technica are actually more than just a fantastic audio equipment outfit. They're also good people. It was storming in Sydney the other day. I didn't tell you this, Ali, but it was storming in Sydney the other day. Absolutely belting down. And I saw this dude give his umbrella to an old lady and then help her across the road. And you know what jumper he was wearing?
Audio Technica?
Yeah, that's right. He was wearing some sweet Audio Technica merch. I followed that guy like two blocks down. He went and then he served food to orphans. This guy was amazing. And only Audio Technica people do that. Also coming your way is episode 131 next week, which I believe Brendan is joining us back for. Brendan this week has had to take a week off the back of the wonderful news that he and Rachel are expecting a beautiful baby girl. Brendan's decided to take a week in for himself and really sit and think about what it means to be a father in this day and age. Obviously, the journey ahead will be tough, but Brendan is taking every precaution he can to make sure that he's prepared for fatherhood. Vision Quest style. I imagine him sort of sitting in the wilderness. There's like a fox going by him. Is the fox real or not? No one knows. Maybe it's just in Brendan's mind. Check us out on all the things we just said and stay tuned for episode 131. Until then, everybody, much love.
Stay hungry.
You've been listening to The Hungry Gamers, one of many gaming and geek culture related podcasts from the 8-Bit Collective over on 8bit.net. Check out more episodes on your podcast service of choice. And while you're there, please be sure to rate and subscribe. Until next time, boys and girls, stay hungry.